Excuse me. This one's taking it all in. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I miss you. Thank you.
Okay, we'll just have to go to the straight over here now, ladies and
Actually know that and have more beyond. Maybe Mr. Blair doesn't.
What do you think of Romford today?
Absolutely fabulous. I have every constituency is
Now, we're going to Nick Witchell, who's in Romford, which is one of the seats that the Tories are hoping to take, a Tory target. Nick, do they feel confident at all there?
Upbeat, I think, David, is the mood here.
Upbeat.
Romford, number 11 on the Tory target list. This, of course, traditionally a blue-chip Conservative seat until 1997. It would now take a swing of less than 1%, just 0.8%, for it to return to Conservative hands. The Conservatives have a strong local candidate, Andrew Rosindell. He's a local councillor, a local man to the right of the party very much, pro-hanging, anti-abortion, strongly Eurosceptic, and he's been campaigning around the constituency of Romford with his Staffordshire pit bull terrier called Spike, dressed up in a Union flag. He's had Lord Tevitt down campaigning for him, Lady Thatcher earlier this week. And so the mood for the Conservatives here certainly upbeat, chasing that figure, that majority of just 649 last time for the Labour Party.
Romford is declaring, I believe. Let's go over there.
Frank McAllister, British National Party, 414. Nigel Lawrence Mayor, Liberal Democrat, 2,869. Andrew Richard Rosindell, Conservative Party candidate, 18,931. Stephen Patrick Ward, UK Independence Party candidate, 533. And I do hereby declare that the candidate for whom the majority of votes has been given, namely Andrew Richard Rosindell, has been duly elected to serve as a member of the Parliament for the Romford constituency.
So the Conservatives gain Romford from Labour. Andrew Rosindell, 18,931. He takes the seat which had a majority last time round for Labour of 649. Look how Labour's sunk back, 12,954. Liberal Democrats 2,869. This is the biggest swing there's been. This is where Mrs Thatcher made a visit, Baroness Thatcher, on one of her last visits during the campaign, and he's the man who is famous for having a Staffordshire Bull Terrier with a Union Jack called Spike that he campaigns with. His majority in Romford, 5,977, turnout is again, and have a look at this swing. It's a really big swing. From Labour to the Conservatives, if they could have done that everywhere tonight, they'd be very happy. 9.2% swing in Romford.
It's a very proud moment for me to be elected the MP for Romford. And Romford, a crumb of comfort for the Tories. A Conservative gain here, majority of 5,977. Swing Labour to the Conservatives of 9.1%, the biggest Tory swing of the night.
In a truly terrible night for the Tories, this was the moment their hopes were briefly raised. It wasn't to last. But Andrew Rosindell's victory was meagre compensation. Romford was Labour's most marginal seat in Greater London, although out here they regard themselves as Essex, and this as the spiritual home of Thatcherism.
I did work for it. You know, we spent every last second running around the constituency and making sure that the vote was coming out.
Live now to the scene of one of those Tory Essex successes. In 1997, Labour took Romford with a very tight majority of 649. It was high on the Tory target list of seats to win back, and as we've seen and heard, they did it. Andrew Rosindell, who's giggling there in the monitor already, took a majority of close to 6,000. The new Member of Parliament for Romford joins me now. Warmest congratulations to you. You are a happy bunny this morning, aren't you?
Yes, it was a wonderful result. I'm delighted to be elected the MP for Romford, and I'm very honoured. It's a fantastic opportunity for me, and I will work hard and serve well the people of Romford.
One of your first tough decisions is who you're going to back as the leader of your party, because at the moment you haven't got one.
That's a matter that I'll think about in the next few days. Obviously,
you stood up there very sharply on "I am a never to the pound man," so we know a little bit about where you're coming from already, don't we?
Yes, I just believe we have to be consistent. One of the major issues in this election here in Romford was Europe. People do not want to go into the euro. People want to keep their independence. They don't want to be governed by Brussels.
Romford has provided what may be one of the few bits of consolation for the Conservatives on a night when Labour's heading for another landslide. Andrew Rosindell has taken the Essex seat from Labour. He did it with a majority of nearly 6,000. In 1997, Labour took the seat from the Tories with a majority of 649, the smallest of any Labour MP in the region. Mr Rosindell backs Baroness Thatcher's stance against the euro. He would say never to Britain's joining.
Andrew Rosindell, yours was the most remarkable Conservative result last night, admittedly on a very, very bleak night for the Conservatives. To what do you attribute that?
Well, there's a lot of issues. Certainly there are a lot of local issues in Romford. But I also think that Europe was a major factor. It was a huge issue on the doorstep, and overwhelmingly people wanted to keep the pound, including many Labour voters who voted Conservative on that issue.
And your bulldog Spike, what role did he play?
Well, he was the campaign mascot.
Yes, what did he do?
Well, he was the mascot. He appeared at various events. He met Lady Thatcher on Tuesday, and he flew the flag and showed that we were the party of Britain, putting Britain first.
And apparently writes a column in the local newsletter.
Yes, he does. That's true.
A talented dog.
Very talented.
The pitch this time was no euro for 5 years, despite the fact that William Hague said he was against it in principle. That policy can now be jettisoned. It didn't work. You can free to adopt a new policy. What should it be?
I believe that we should keep the pound for good. That's my personal view. And I believe that one of the reasons that why people didn't trust us on this issue is that we weren't that clear about it. We were talking about one term of a parliament. For me, it's a matter of principle. And in fact, for William Hague, it's a matter of principle.
Could you... Well, of course, Alistair, you hear that last view. I suppose that might give a reason for why there have been so many people not voting. But then again, many people here are just hearing the results. So I will leave it now to the local town crier to keep telling people what has happened here.
Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Tories retake Romford. Andrew Rosindell puts the Tory smile back into Romford constituency. Oh, yay!